You see this room? What if I told you this room, the basic one with an old headboard, old dresser, no photos on the wall, and a tiny closet has helped me to generate over $6 million of revenue in my business since 2019. Crazy, right? Well, I'm going to show you exactly how I did it here on the Fearless Investor YouTube channel. Going back to 2014, I bought this house that you're seeing right now on your screen. I had 2 roommates and 4 bedrooms. Do the math. That means I had 1 empty room. Given that I was 26 years old and not making a ton of money, I needed to find ways to generate income any way I could think of. So I started looking for a 3rd roommate. Keep in mind, this house was only 1,700 square feet, so I was ready to live pretty uncomfortably. As I was looking for that roommate, my friend told me about this new way that you can rent out a room. He said it's called AirBnB. When I asked him what it was, he said it's like Uber but for your house. You post a room on Airbnb, people book it, and all you have to do is make sure that the room is clean and the bed is made. My response, well, that sounds super sketchy. He responded with, you can call it sketchy or not, but I just made $7,000 in the last 5 months with my spare bedroom in Vegas. Okay, that's enough money, I'm sold. So I posted it on Airbnb. I even told people that there was a dog and 2 other roommates, and guess what? They still booked it. Living near the heart of Old Town Scottsdale definitely didn't hurt. During those 2 years of hosting this room, I made between $500 to $1,000 per month and met some of the coolest people. Some of them from the US, some from overseas, and honestly, some were just straight up a-holes, but I digress. Anyway, in 2016, my dad's battle with cancer started to get worse, and I knew I had to move back to be with him in Fresno, California. So I sold this house, bought a new one in Cali, and of course, I thought to myself, well, there goes Airbnb. No one will want to come to Fresno, right? But I decided to try it anyway. Within an hour of listing the house, someone booked to stay that same night. What in the world? I asked them, why are you staying in Fresno? They told me they were in town to see family, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. So for the next 18 months, I actually saw my house in Fresno generate more income than I did in Tempe, Arizona. Nurses, business travelers, people coming to see family, foreigners coming to see the national parks. It was wild. But even at this moment, as I was making over $1,000 per month, I still did not ask myself how I could make more. I just stayed content with renting out 1 room and making some easy income. But then, in late 2018, I went on a weekend getaway, and I got this kind of wild idea. What if I host my entire house while I'm gone? So I put a listing up of the full house, locked up my valuables in the closet, and boom! A booking for $500 that weekend. It literally paid for my trip and then some. This was a major light bulb moment. This was truly passive income. Mind you, up to this point, I was working at a multi-level marketing company that was always promoting passive income, but there was nothing passive about the work I was doing. This, however, was seriously passive. List it, book it, give them check-in details, and hire a cleaner when they leave. So simple. So what did I do next? Well, I busted out the old Google machine and searched for ways to make passive income. Everything you can imagine popped up, but I kept seeing real estate, and more real estate. So for the next 4 months, I listened to podcasts about, you guessed it, real estate. Went to seminars, and I took action. I flipped and wholesaled some houses, I bought a rental with the bank's money, and I was off and running. But then I stumbled on another podcast in 2019 about an Airbnb host who didn't own any of the properties that he was managing. He had over 30 apartment units, and each of them were netting him over $1,000 per month in Southern California. When I heard about this strategy, my jaw dropped. I remember instantly, I thought to myself, wait, Airbnb? You mean the same Airbnb that I've been hosting a room out of my house for the last 4 years? I can do this. But there was still obviously some doubt in my head. I called Airbnb. I asked them if I had to submit the deed of the home. Nope. Well, there's gotta be a cap on the number of properties you can list, right? No cap. OMG. Yep. This is my ticket to financial freedom. So I bought this guy's course, and 1 month later, I was hosting an apartment on Airbnb just like him, and I didn't own it. 1 month after that, I finished renovating a house that I was going to flip, but instead I kept it and turned it into an Airbnb. And in that second month, I made $2,000 on the house, $1,000 on the apartment, and that $3,000 of net income per month was already half of what I was making with my full-time grind. This was amazing. 4 months later, I had 6 properties on Airbnb and netted almost $8,000. I surpassed my full-time income. What happened for the next 3 years was nothing short of phenomenal. I grew my business mainly through word of mouth to 70 plus properties. I hired a team that took care of all of the day-to-day operations, customer service, cleaning, maintenance, the works. And in 2022, I brought in over $2.5 million in revenue. And because of my low overhead business model, we kept as a company roughly $435,000. This amazing way of doing short-term rentals has truly brought me time and financial freedom. And you can do this too. If you are ready to get your first Airbnb without owning the property, you need to check out my free webinar on my website. Go to www.fearlesskyle.com and fill out the form on the homepage to watch the webinar. This could be your first step to building a lifestyle business just like mine.